All right, Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And Shalom to all the Akim out there preaching his word in truth and sincerity. This is your brother Shamar coming back with another lesson. And in this lesson, I wanted to speak on the situation dealing with Ukraine and Russia right now, because that's the main topic you see in the news. And if you're looking into the news, the mainstream news, I should say, you see them pretty much painting Putin as the bad guy, as the evil guy. And then you have that puppet that's set up out there in Ukraine, voicing the same thing that America is saying, basically saying that, making it look like they're the victim, when in all actuality, the reason that this is going down in the first place is because you had America in the background forcing this whole situation to happen. And if you look at RT News or other alternative news, they're basically saying that because Putin has been warning that, pretty much if they didn't back out as far as like stop trying to set up the missiles and all this other stuff close to the Russian border, that's why which is, how should I say, headstrong about being out there in Ukraine, because that's literally right there by the borders of Russia. It's right there, super close to be shooting missiles off right at Russia. And that's why Russia is so set on stopping it from happening and just knocking down that whole political regime in Ukraine, because he knows that it's a set up regime ultimately set up by Esau over here in America, man. It's a puppet set up in place out there. All right. And like I said, if you look more into it, all the information is out there. All right. So you look at other alternative news, they're telling you one story. You look at the mainstream news out here, they're telling you that he's just doing this for no reason. And they're not even telling us the reason. Like, they don't even tell you a reason why he's doing it. They're just saying he's attacking, like it's just random, which is not. Nothing happens by coincidence. All right. And and by all this happening, it's going to just end up further exposing Esau as the devil, man. All right. That's why I had made the video on it a while back about them basically deeming you as a terrorist if you say anything contrary to the narrative that they're pushing. All right. Yet one of the narratives concerning the jab is one thing, and then another narrative could be an example of this, them saying that how he's the enemy and he's the bad guy and everything else. But then the whole time, he's not even the bad guy. He's protecting his country. And he says that his country and his people comes first and foremost. And that's why he's doing the things that he's doing over there in Ukraine right now. But the first scripture I wanted to start with is Matthew 24 and 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Yeah, the end is not yet. And you see people over here making memes and shit about Russia invading Ukraine and everything, and saying that, oh, World War III about to happen or whatever. They're scoffing about it like it's a light thing. All right. And it's a very deadly serious thing with what's going on over there, because you got Biden talking about getting involved in everything. And if he gets involved, that's just going to further escalate things. So they already know that. Putin, he's ready for America to try to jump in and do something. Those little sanctions and all that Biden was talking about doing, sanctions never stops anything. And you've seen that time and time again with all these other countries that they always try to place sanctions upon. All they do is just, go around and do business with someone else. All right, America is not needed in the picture. And that's what all these other nations are slowly doing anyway, is working towards cutting out America out the picture. All right. But like it says, to be not troubled, because these things must come to pass. And all these things playing out is really us just getting closer and closer to the end of this place, man, to the end of this whole world. All right, the world that's being controlled by Esau, who's the so-called white man. All right. So if anything, we should be rejoicing that these things are happening, because that just means we're that much closer to the prophecies being fulfilled of the scriptures, man. All right. Because the scriptures speak about World War III. how it's going to come fast. The second woe has passed. Behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And people already know that the World War III can literally happen at any moment. And things have only been getting more and more intense as time has been passing by. Now we're literally at the point where war can break out at any moment, especially now. This whole situation dealing with Russia and Ukraine and America talking about getting involved in this and that. The whole time America thinking that they got all the other nations on their side. They're plotting against America the whole time. They're going to actually turn against America. All right. We continuing on. It says verse 8. Oh no, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. And we've been in the beginning of sorrows, man, and things are only getting worse over time as time goes on, okay? And you're seeing nation rise up against nation. All right, Russia invading Ukraine because they know that it's a puppet set up in place over there in the government, all right? They're not going to tell you the full story on the regular mainstream media, though. They're going to make it seem like they don't know why he's attacking. He's just randomly choosing to invade because he's trying to be, what's that word? They call him, they're comparing him to basically, damn, this is right on the top of my head. Basically comparing him to the Nazis, all right? Like he's just invading them just to rule over them for no reason, just to be damn, the word is escaping me right now, but you know what I mean. He's invading them just to be a bully. They making it seem like that, and he's trying to be a Nazi and just go over there and just wipe them out. When he's strategically attacking certain places over there in Ukraine. All right, if you look into the news and all that. Nonetheless, like I said, it's going to come to a point to where Esau is going to get exposed because that's why he's all about fact checking and everything else. Whenever you post something on social media or post something on YouTube, now they could take it down if they deem it as something coming against the government or whatever they want to strike you for at this point, because it could literally be for no reason and they just strike your video or content. But Esau is being exposed. And that's why he wants to control the narrative, because like I said earlier, if you look at mainstream news media, all they're telling you is that Russia is the bad guy. He's invading Ukraine for no reason. They tried to have talks with him. He doesn't want to listen, And they only telling you one side of the story. You never hearing anything about what what Putin has to say, or what's the real other side of the story, because there's always two sides to the story, not just one. All right. That's how you got to discern between like which side is the truth of the matter. And if you heard both sides of the story, you would see that he's not doing it for no reason. All right. But next scripture I wanted to get is Nahum chapter 3 verse 5. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. And that's already been happening, man. The nations have been seeing America's shame, and they're just seeing it further and further, man. Why do you think Putin doesn't like Biden so much? Because he's just a straight zombie that's pushing the elite's agenda. And Putin's not dumb, all right? When Trump was in the office, you see, it wasn't as escalated of an issue or whatever. Now that you got Biden there, he full blown pushing the agenda of the elites and everything else, a complete zombie. All right, he's just a face figure, and you see the tension just off top, just been escalating to where it's at now. All right, but like I said, the nations are seeing America's shame, man. And when the truth gets revealed about how majority of all wars were basically because of the elites, because of Esau, because of America, all right, the other nations are going to all wake up to that point, man. And they already see that. They're seeing it right now. You telling them to be on board with you, with them being on board with America is further crippling their economy. It's not doing good for them by trying to stay in bed with America and be on your side, be your ally. All right, it's only beneficial one way, and that's for America. And these other nations are getting hip to that, man. And they're getting hip to all the lies that Esau pushes on the media and on the other people, and how he causes all these different situations, like the one that's going on over there in Ukraine right now, man. In verse 6, it says, "And I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock." And that's what you're going to start seeing happen more and more, man. Because Esau's just, he's going to start the reason he's clamping down on things more and more on the internet is because he's getting exposed at an all-time high, man. On the internet, that's where all the real truth of the matter comes out with different things on these social media platforms like Twitter, TikTok, and other things that are less censored, so to speak. Because on YouTube now, they're clipping videos and stuff and all that. That's why you got all these alternative sites where you can post videos like Odyssey and stuff like that. All right, where they're allowing you to still have that freedom of speech like you're supposedly entitled to here. Nonetheless, America's just further and further exposing themselves and making themselves as a gazing stock into these other nations, man. All right. And this is all just going to further build up to ultimately World War III breaking out at some point. Then you're going to slowly see the other nations turn on America. All right, like it says in Obadiah. All right. Because this is, like I said, it's a one-way street when it comes to being an ally with America. It doesn't benefit these other nations. It's just further destroying them, putting hell on them, trying to be cool with Esau. All right. But continuing on, it says, this is Obadiah 1:7. It says, "All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him." So all these other nations that's part of NATO and all that other stuff, they're going to end up turning on America, man. As things continue to escalate, all right, and we get closer, even more closer to World War III actually popping off, all right, these other nations are going to turn on America, man, say like, forget that. You want us to get your gas when we got to pay a stupid amount of money compared to getting gas from Russia, which is right here, the next country over, and they're giving it to us at a much better price, much better deal. Doing business with Esau, he's just putting nothing but hell on you. Dealing with Esau in general is putting nothing but hell on you. You see, you look at history, every nation that Esau has went into to so-called liberate the people and bring freedom and all this other madness, it just destroyed that country, later down the line. And Russia sees that, and they see what America is doing as far as, like I mentioned earlier, trying to set up those missile systems and shit like that closer to their borders. And they're not having it, man. They told America plenty of times, like, nah, we're not doing that. We're not letting y'all do that. We're not going to stop our building up our military and our missile defense system and stuff like that, because they already know it's going to come to a point in time when they got to just shoot them nukes off, and they ready, man. Yet, like the scriptures say, it's a set point in time for everything, man. So it is not yet set. It's not time yet for the missiles to be shot off over here in America, and they're not going to be the only ones, man. They're going to be all these other nations that America thought was cool with them. They're going to be shooting missiles over here too. All right, all the nations, really, none of them like America. They have deceived you, pretending to be cool with you because in the meantime it was convenient for them while they built up their army to be ready to be allies with the other nations that have something in common, which is their hatred for America. All right. And I just wanted to go in on that point because that's the main topic going on right now as far as the whole Ukraine situation right now. All right, we have to sit here and see how it plays out. Nonetheless, you can see how, like I said, in the mainstream media, they're only telling you one side of the story. All right, that's why you have to look into things and look up the information to really get the full spectrum and know what's going on, man. All right, because It's a reason for things happening right now that's happening. And ultimately, it's the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. Further, you know, and further making the prophecies come to pass faster, man. All right. Like the apostles deemed this year the year to turn up, man. You see the prophecies are turning up. Things are turning up in general. And that's why you're supposed to stand up on your watch and look at what's going on within America as well as geopolitically across the globe and everything else, man. Because it's a lot of things happening. And it's only going to continue to get more intense as time goes on, man. All right. Hey, so with that, I'm going to wrap up and give our praises again to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone, and Shalom to the Akim out there preaching his word in truth and sincerity. Shalom.